It's do or die time for the Kings of Swag in the European Union in our main event. Our prediction?
Street Profits.
Bartel.
Well, I mean,
Street Profits.
Bartel. I meant to say Street
Bartel.
What the
Support, no DQ.
Welcome everybody to What's NXT for April 10th, 2019. I am your host, the Rated R reviewer, Stephen Osborne, joined as always by the General Jerry Slaughter.
Good evening, wrestling fans.
And tonight we've got a 3-match card, and it was okay. I'm not gonna lie, this show was heavily padded with vignettes and recaps and replays and interviews after and exclusive and peeping toms and on the Undisputed Era. Just so much stuff that revolves around NXT TakeOver New York, which is fine and dandy, but that was days ago.
Fine and or dandy.
Yes, it was 5 days ago. This is Wednesday. We should be moving on, and we're not really moving on.
No.
But we had 3 pretty good matches. And we start off the night, though, with, of course, a complete recap. Video package. Just all of NXT TakeOver New York. Just a little bit here and a little bit there. The best of everything. And we get a new opening intro for NXT. We were promised, I guess, via Twitter or something like that. Slipknot is the
new theme.
Yeah, well, it's not. That's the band that does the theme. I can't remember what the song's called. What's it called?
I'd have to look again.
I did not write it down.
I played it for you on Saturday with the initial video, the full-length video, and the full-length video is badass. But the part that they actually show for the main title here, it just doesn't fit. And I think I finally realized why it doesn't work for me. Is the fact that it's got the "We Are Not Your Kind," but at the same time, a lot of these, half of these people will probably get called up relatively soon, which means we're going to have to change it again anyway.
That's not my problem with it. My problem with it is that they've got them all. Baby faces, heels, all of them. Doing choreographed moves saying, "We are not your kind." And it's so contrived. It's so artificial that
it's very 90s sitcom.
It completely turns me off. All of the footage from previous matches and vignettes and everything that they showed through this whole thing, it looked fine, but there was no graphics at all. It was all filters, and it was all just footage that had been edited. Fine, but no graphics at all. Like the previous one, not until the very end of it when they had the NXT graphic. I think they still have work to do here. They need to cut out the beginning. That just looks like something completely staged. And just go straight into the part of the song that you said you liked, that you were hoping that they were going to use. Go straight into that, to all of the cutaways, all of the
crowd
replays,
reactions, and
the big spots from matches and all of that, with all of the people that are actually in NXT and haven't been called up, because I think I saw Ricochet in there.
Ricochet and Aleister Black, yeah.
So they probably shouldn't be in there anymore. But that is that. Let's move on to the first match of the night. It is a women's match. We were promised this, I believe, last week, with a not even backstage, an outside vignette.
Yep.
We've got Candice LeRae versus Aaliyah, who is coming out with Vanessa Bourne, and kind of an underwhelming match for a Candice LeRae match, but I'm not sure it was her fault.
This is like the opening match, and you got to figure Candice LeRae's been in the business about as long as Johnny Gargano has, if not even longer. So, and then you have Aaliyah, who's still relatively new. So, it wasn't going to be that great of a match. It was, I think, if anything, it was to showcase Aaliyah a little bit more, and this was barely even a showcase match. I won't say it was a squash, but it was very. It didn't have much dimension in it at all.
Aaliyah with a lot of ground and pound and just heel stuff that just takes up time in a match, and not a lot of stuff that made her look really great.
Stefan lost interest the second he saw Vanessa Bourne because she wasn't all hoed out tonight.
She looks incredibly hot when she wrestles, and then she comes out and it was like, eh.
She looked like she dropped her kid off to soccer.
She looked like she had a loose shirt on that somebody shot a bunch of helium into and just puffed it out. Which is fine. She's still hot. Just Anyway, Candice LeRae, she comes back at the end of the match and she hit. Let's see, she hits a step up senton to Aaliyah's back.
That looked cool.
And when we say this, what I mean is Aaliyah is on all fours and she steps on her back to jump up and land on a senton that sends Aaliyah flat, which was cool. And then picks her up into a neck breaker and then hits, I guess, one of her finishers, if not her finish. It's lion salt, a little bit miscalculated.
She overshot it.
Yeah, way overshot because Aaliyah wasn't even that close to the... She wasn't as close to the ropes as even Jericho requires a motherfucker to be. And Candice LeRae still overshot.
Here I am, usually the Jericho mentioner, so like...
Well, we are talking about a fucking lion salt.
Yeah, well, the thing is with that is when he first started doing it, he actually would stand out in the ring and actually just had like a sack of laundry and he'd count how many steps he would actually need to pull off the move. This didn't look like it was, planned out in any way, shape, or form. It was just pray to God that she lands on her. And it looked messy. It really did.
Well, she helps herself out by pulling Aaliyah. I think it was a joint effort, actually. I think Aaliyah might have scooted herself while Candice pulled on her to make it look like she landed square.
Pretty much like, am I in the right spot?
Because otherwise, she's got to move forward into the pin, and you completely let on that instead of landing belly to belly, she landed face to boob.
Yeah.
Basically. I'm just glad that the fact that she overshot would normally mean that she would not completely make the round and she would land on her neck and not on her, front.
Boobs to face.
Boob to face.
Boobs to faces.
That's a finisher I can get behind, unless we're talking Samoa Joe or Keith Lee.
A salon man boob.
Or Cassius Ohno.
Oh, God, no.
So, yeah, Candice LeRae with the win, which is not surprising. I bet you next week or in a couple of weeks we'll see her versus Vanessa Bourne, and she'll get the win again.
I was about to say, or somebody else teams with Candice LeRae to face off though against those two.
I see her getting one-on-one with Vanessa Bourne, and then Aaliyah gets interferes. She gets the win via disqualification, or maybe she gets pinned off the interference, but either way, now she's got to find a partner.
Or... And this scenario that we haven't discussed yet either, she could very well be the next opponent for Shayna Baszler. They could be building towards that if she takes out both these two.
Yeah, but I think we got probably 4 months before the next takeover.
It doesn't
Because I don't think Money in the Bank is going to be a takeover pay-per-view anymore.
No, it's not.
So we're waiting until SummerSlam.
I had to check. I had to check the schedule for the Armbar Radio thing that I did last night. So yeah, there's no take. Actually, I think there's one in San Jose, but I'm just not sure what it's before.
Huh. So, our uninformed asses are going to move on.
That's all main brand shit.
That's TakeOver, man. We've got...
Even then, it's like the takeovers are usually promoted name brands. All right, go on.
So we've got a video recap of Matt Riddle versus Velveteen Dream for the North American Championship.
Show stealer.
Great recap as always. This was probably the only one that we watched all the way through. Because after this, it's like, nope, fast forward.
Mm-hmm.
Let's get on to a match or a segment, something we haven't seen yet. In that vein, we moved on to Velveteen Dream with a selfie promo. And this one he shot on Sunday at WrestleMania, I guess sometime after the early pre-show. Where
right at the pre-show, because Buddy Murphy is coming back.
Yeah, so he's hyping up his win against Matt Riddle. At the same time, Buddy Murphy walks into frame of his selfie promo.
Just lost.
And he starts ripping into Buddy Murphy about losing his belt, and they kind of have a back and forth. And Velveteen's like, hey, where's your title at? You want to see a real show stealer? Go watch NXT TakeOver and fast forward to my match, basically. Yep. And this is going to pay off.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm sure you know what we mean by that, but we will get to that a little bit later. After that, we get a video recap of NXT Tag Team Championship match between the War Raiders and Aleister Black and Ricochet. And great video package, but
I was in suspense the whole time. Maybe the match changed. We didn't know it.
This gets on my nerves for one specific reason. If we're watching NXT, we have the network. And if we have the network and we watch NXT, we've already watched NXT TakeOver.
Absolutely.
So, giving us super long recaps is insulting.
Yeah.
Basically, you're saying we don't have enough show to fill, so let's just recap the fuck out of you. And they do. All 5 matches. And we'll tell you when they are, but this is the last time I'm going to comment on them. Do you have any notes or comments on all of these before we just like mention them and move on?
Stop.
Stop. Stop it.
Stop it.
Stop it. So, in the vein of something we haven't seen yet, a WWE.com exclusive, we get video footage of the signing of Kushida to NXT. We've got Kushida, Triple H, and William Regal there. Notice Vince ain't there. Or Shane or Stephanie. None of them give a fuck about this.
No.
Any notes here?
Well, the thing is, we had seen Kushida sign, but we didn't hear Triple H or William Regal talk before. All we saw was just him put the pen to paper. This was a little more long-winded. It was Triple H talking about how proud he is of this signing. Naturally doing the whole pat myself on the back thing. Because Kushida is a pretty big deal. But at the same time, nothing really here, just a contract signing.
Which was weird.
Yeah.
Not with the first 2 signatures, because Kushida signs it, Triple H signs it, kind of makes sense. And then William Regal signs it, and I'm like, this isn't a real contract signing. There's no lawyers here, no nothing. William Regal, does he really have that kind of role backstage of NXT where he actually signs the contract of an NXT character? So I'm like, this is a completely kayfabe contract signing. I wonder if there's anything written on the pages that are behind the one on top that they're signing.
He's got to do something, because if you think about it, William Regal really hasn't been doing much lately on NXT television.
But at the same time, I'm pretty sure when Triple H signed, I think he signed Paul Levesque.
Yeah.
Based off of his hand movements and how long it took him to sign it.
He's like...
William Regal took forever to sign. You know his handwriting's probably amazing.
It's like calligraphy. He might as well just pull out a pen with a feather on it.
I'd be surprised if he's got really bad penmanship for his signature, because it took him a minute.
Yeah.
So, we have another match, folks.
And it's a doozy.
Second of 3. Danny Burch with Oney Lorcan versus Jackson Riker with the Forgotten Sons, Steve Cutler and Wesley Blake out there with them.
Nailed them all.
Oh, they're written down, sir.
They're written down.
They are written down, sir. I remembered them to write them down even before they announced. Well, they didn't. Kayla Braxton couldn't remember their names. She said Riker was representing and accompanied by the Forgotten Sons.
Yes.
She didn't even say their names. I've already gotten them written down by that point. I'm just making room for them because it's a lot of names to write down.
Well, on all fairness, you were just kind of started Kayla Braxton anyway.
Hey, she's got another orange dress on. Love the orange dresses. Keep it up, Kayla. I noticed she had an orange suit on when she did the interviews on SmackDown. I think her favorite color is the same as mine. Anyway, this was a really good match.
It was very physical.
Not top notch, not great. Very physical, yes.
Yes. You pretty much, like, right out the box, you had Danny Burch nailing that signature sick headbutt of his right on Jackson Riker. First, I think he went for a clothesline, and then right up into the corner, then headbutt right into it. And like, not nearly a pinfall, like maybe like a 1.5, but still.
Did he go for a near fall?
Yeah,
1 count.
Yeah, he got one. He got one 1.5.
Hey
maybe.
man, if you don't go for a pinfall after a sick headbutt like that, you don't deserve to be in the ring.
You're a fool.
You're a fool, a damn fool. But I mean, it is against Jackson Riker, and this dude looks jacked.
Oh, he always does, but at the same time, now with this like bushy beard and the crazy Manson eyes, he's looking more menacing.
Dude looks jacked.
Yeah.
So at some point here, Cutler tries to interfere on this match, and Burch knocks him off the apron, right? So then Blake tries to interfere. He runs from the other side. So he runs into the ring, runs at Burch, and Burch dodges him and throws him out onto the apron through the middle rope. And then Lorcan gets into the ring and runs across it and does a cross body onto Blake on the apron, off of the apron, onto Cutler, who's on the outside of the.
It was a crazy high spot for such a like,
It was great. I don't know if I've ever seen that before.
No, it was insane to watch, and it was great tag team action in a singles match.
I can't believe this was my favorite tag team match of the show, considering the main event.
Well, it wasn't even a tag match, but it was just a tag maneuver that was pretty awesome.
I think I liked it. Oh, yeah, because this wasn't a tag match.
No, it wasn't.
I'm an idiot. So, it seems like it, because we've got the tag teams involved.
Yeah.
Even though Cutler and Blake are not actually in the... anyway. So,
but we're probably going to see a tag match out come on.
That's worth editing out, but I won't do it. I refuse. So, Birch ends up reversing Riker. He's got him up in a fireman's carry, so when he goes to do something, Birch lands and then rolls him up. Yeah. And it's not real fluid or anything like that, but just rolls him up, fruit roll up, and gets a near fall. But off of that, they get back up, and Riker hits him with a Polish hammer to the chest, knocks him down,
hammer.
And then picks him up and puts him into what we now know is officially named
the Widowmaker.
The Widowmaker. That is the sit-out choke bomb that is awesome looking, and he does so well, so much better than that slingshot power bomb.
Which, you want to hear a little bit of the fact that I just remembered a little bit ago? The Widowmaker was Sean O'Hare's finisher for a long time, which was Velveteen Dream's driver for a long time. Sean O'Hare did that move before he did the Swanton.
The Shanton.
The Shanton bomb. Rest in peace, Sean.
Rest in peace, Sean, man. You deserve so much better.
Oh, God.
Oh, if he'd have gotten picked up by WWF before they bought WCW instead of WCW snatching him up, like...
Well, he was one of the people from the power plant, too, so...
Well, the problem is, he was a WCW guy through and through, so he was going to get buried until he got buried into oblivion. Yeah. Like, he went from obscurity to oblivion, and it's terrible what they did to the guys that were all WCW that didn't have star power. Some of them got by, but even Sting felt the wrath.
Yeah, but we're not going to talk about WCW. This is NXT.
Fuck, why not? But yeah, let's move on.
But from there, we get something we haven't seen yet, or we've seen shades of possibly happening. We get a post-match beatdown.
Yeah, we get some after-match beatdown here. Yep, shout out to the channel. So Riker goes for another Widowmaker, and before he can, Oni Lorcan gets in the ring and attacks him.
He goes slap happy with everybody.
Yeah, he starts to get the upper hand, but then the Forgotten Sons get in the ring, and now you've got 3-on-2.
Upper hand slaps.
Please don't slap me.
He said upper hand.
But we got 3-on-2, so the Forgotten Sons, they get the upper hand on the slaps. And
now I get the pun.
This is where the segment ends. Basically, they stand tall, which makes sense. 3-on-2. Besides the fact that Jackson Riker can beat up either or Danny Burch or Oni Lorcan, which we've seen in the last 2 matches.
Do you see Oni Lorcan and Danny Burch trying to prove their mettle by just challenging all 3 of the Forgotten Sons, or do you see them pulling off another member to actually?
They have to have a third person. They've got to find somebody, Keith Lee or Donovan Dijakovic. Let's say whoever comes out victorious next week in a match that hopefully will be awesome.
Oh my God, that's good. There's no choice in the matter. That's gotta be awesome.
There's choice and there's fluke.
But
shit happens.
I don't think it's going to outdo the other match that we get announced later that night. But
so up next we get a video recap of the Women's Fatal 4-Way Women's Championship match at NXT TakeOver New York. So that was Bianca Belair, Io Shirai, Kairi Sane, and the champion Shayna Baszler. And Shayna Baszler won. And moving on to an interview with Shayna Baszler post-match, I believe. And
yep.
I can't remember who was interviewing her. Some blonde chick, and she's like, "Do you what do you have to say after pulling the upset?" And she's like, "Upset?" Like. She's like,
this wasn't me beating the odds. This was just me being awesome.
She said it doesn't matter who it is or how many. She's gonna beat them all.
Yep.
And I guess that's what she's just gonna.
Yep. And she's got that smirk on her face, and Jessamine Duke and Maria Shafir and her go out for Froyo. End of segment. Let's go on to the next one.
I guess she's just going to stick around while Duke and Shafir learn the trade.
That's what I'm starting to think.
So moving on to a video recap of Pete Dunne versus Walter for the WWE United Kingdom Championship at NXT TakeOver New York. And Walter won, moving on.
Well, here's the thing. We get an exclusive after that where Pete Dunne says he's going to...
I was going to move into that. We get an interview that happened right after the match. Pete Dunne, after losing the championship, and basically, like you said, he says he's going to get a rematch. Because I believe they insinuate no more automatic rematches, and he's like, there'll be a rematch.
But they cut out the other part of the exclusive that I found super interesting.
Okay.
There's another segment after that that's got Pete Dunne resting his back up against one of those, slide down doors back in the back of the arena. William Regal approaches him. He looks him up and down, nods, and walks away.
So maybe we see Pete Dunne as an NXT guy from
I'm seeing Pete Dunne versus Johnny Gargano for the NXT belt.
Sweet.
But even before then, I see him going against Adam Cole because Adam Cole's going to demand a rematch. William Regal's like, that's great, but I already have somebody else in mind. You two fight it over. See who's going to win that match and face Gargano.
Sounds like a plan, Stan.
Yes!
Moving on to a video recap.
Oh my God, we agreed.
Championship match. 2 out of 3 falls. Johnny Gargano, Adam Cole. Adam Cole wins the first one. Johnny Gargano wins the next 2. And Johnny Gargano's the new NXT champion.
We downplay it a lot, people, but we have been talking about these matches since Friday. So there's one of these situations where we're almost not really even tired of talking about it, but if we haven't embedded in your head that this was way fucking better than WrestleMania.
Which, he didn't watch it. I watched all of it. I enjoyed WrestleMania. I gave it an A-. I thought it was really good. For 7 hours and 22 minutes, it was really good. And I didn't do great on my predictions, but the top 3, the 3 baby faces in the championship matches, Kofi Kingston, Becky Lynch, and Seth Rollins, I picked all 3, and people told me I was stupid. We weren't going to get all 3 moments. And I'm like, God damn it. They promised us change. They said we were the authority and they were going to give us what we want. And I knew WrestleMania was where they were going to do it in the biggest ways they could and still get away with it. I mean, you still had some heel victories. You had Shane McMahon beat The Miz. You had shit like that, but all 3 of the big ones won. I was very happy with WrestleMania. I give NXT TakeOver at least an A, if not an A+. So still better than WrestleMania, obviously because it was so much shorter. But
the amount of quality that you got in 3 hours versus 7.5, though.
I think if WrestleMania had been like 2 hours shorter, I probably would have given it an A.
Probably.
At least an A, if not an A+.
If anything, we
depending
found
on what matches they took out.
If anything, we have found our videos are better or do better when they're shorter.
When they're shorter. In that vein, let's move on. Which we should have done already because it was a video recap. But we have the Undisputed Era backstage after the main event of NXT TakeOver New York. And they are essentially arguing. And Adam Cole's like confronting Roderick Strong about what were you doing out there? And he's like, what the fuck are you talking about? He's like, we were executing the plan perfectly until... And then he kind of stops and he sees that the camera is like...
eavesdropping.
Yeah. Surveilling.
Surveilling the area, yes.
Yes.
Just kind of hanging out,
like,
having
hey,
a donut.
Get the fuck out of here without the F-bomb, of course. Because they don't do that. We do.
I think it would have been great if they actually had said it and bleeped it out because they had plenty of time to edit it.
So the last filler moment of the night, we get a announcement for a match next week. As we said earlier, the payoff is here. Velveteen Dream versus Buddy Murphy next week.
The former king of the pre-show.
So, shout out to Noah Foster, the Simple Man.
Champion.
NoDQ.com/Noah, Noah. That's how you can find him. Finally, we are on to the main event. Mm-hmm. The Street Profits, that's Montez Ford and Angelo Dawkins, versus Fabian Eichner and Marcel Bartel, one of our favorite tag teams.
Both of our favorite tag teams, actually.
Yeah.
Eichner Bartel Truthfully. For UK, Eichner Bartel for UK, Street Profits for NXT.
I don't know. I kind of tied Eichner and Bartel in UK with the tag team champions, Drake and Gibson.
Yeah.
But
well, I was about to say, like, at this point, though, I get kind of sick of Drake and Gibson because so many people are chanting and everything.
They don't have as many cool tag team moves.
No, they don't.
Eichner and Bartel have gone to town with figuring out cool tag team moves. They take their normal moves and mash them together, and it's just sweet.
It's like watching like two really awesome robots.
Like we didn't get the
one giant robot.
We didn't get the lawn dart off the top rope into the
which is surprising because Montez
suplex.
Ford has such an awesome leap and such an awesome vertical that even if you like pulled the frog splash off of that and like Eichner caught him, how sick would that look if he actually caught him mid frog splash?
Well, we did get the spine buster into the soccer kick. We got the double basement drop kick.
Mm-hmm.
They are just so good as a tag team.
Oh, don't forget the flipping slam from Bartel.
Oh, I'm going to get to all of it. I've got several notes here.
Yeah.
But before I get into my... Oh, and I forgot to underline the winners there. Before I break down the high spots, what did you think about the main event, Jerry?
I was already psyched for it. Well, yeah, because like we have two of our favorite teams going at it, and like we said in the opening, it's do or die, okay? Because both these teams were pretty much on losing streaks at this point.
Absolutely.
And one of them needed the W, and it was in front of a 16,000 seat arena that was just jam packed. So this was their spotlight moment. So Eichner and Bartel, just awesome to watch in the ring. There's one spot that didn't happen in the match that I was hoping to God would, especially since Eichner and Bartel are so against comedy and stuff in the ring. That one, Angelo Dawkins and Marcel Bartel to be in the ring, and for Dawkins to maybe extend out his hand or something, just walking into America or some shit.
Oh yeah.
And Bartel to look down, do his 9, but then have Angelo Dawkins, just kind of do this, and just smack him across the face and have Montez Ford just fall over the ropes laughing like he normally would.
Yeah, on the ride to get food after work, he assured me this was going to happen during the match. And I'm like, yeah, that'd be fun. But no, we didn't see it. There's nobody there that creative, obviously.
You'd have to be in my creative mind, and nobody really is.
But at the same time, it's not too often that you see a babyface extend a handshake for a heel. In fact, the last time I checked, the Street Profits were on their way to a heel turn anyway.
I think they saw that wasn't going to work. They were trying to make them a little more intense, and the fans really didn't react well to it. The Street Profits are a face team. Simple as that. They're supposed to be what Crime Time should have been, I'm thinking. And especially since now they're also getting the rub from Harlem Heat at this point, they're gearing up to be like them. So,
well, they got the rub from Harlem Heat because of, I guess, the attire that they wore that we made fun of that was a tribute to Harlem Heat. Although I didn't see the circle, the ring.
Yeah.
That's Harlem Heat.
Yeah.
Is that ring that holds the bottom part to the top part that goes around.
They didn't have the physique and build for it, is what it was.
Not really.
Like, basically, they look like,
Although Angelo Dawkins does look like he's losing weight and getting fitter, which is pretty cool.
He's definitely gotten in better shape than he was the last time we saw him.
And he looks it in the ring, some of the moves he does, and I will get to
we
those too.
We only see him towards the end of the match, but go ahead and do your rundown.
Well, as you said, we only see him at the end of the match. The match starts with
Montez Ford.
Montez Ford, thank you. And he's being worked over by Fabian Eichner and Marcel Bartel through most of the match.
Very fluid tags.
So my first note here is, Marcel Bartel throws Ford into the corner, and Ford does that where he catches the top rope and he leaps up so that hopefully Marcel Bartel runs underneath him, and instead Bartel kicks him in the face.
Yes.
And that was wicked looking. And then comes off of that with this tilt-a-whirl gut-wrench slam. Best thing I can think to call it. You just got to see it. Cool
Very innovative.
And then we get the spot with the spine buster from Fabian Eichner into the soccer kick by Bartel onto Ford, of course. Ford's still in the ring being worked over. But at one point, they throw him in the corner and they go for, I think, a double team move. But Ford dodges Eichner, who comes in and lands face first into the middle turnbuckle. And then slides under Bartel and gets a hot tag. And then fucking Angelo Dawkins comes in, fucking
pounce almost, just tosses. Was it Bartel into Eichner at that point?
Yeah, he runs roughshod. He lands a T-bone suplex onto Eichner, and then he's got this. He goes in for a corner splash, but does a corkscrew in the jump, which I thought was great looking, perfect timing and everything. And then he gets the tag to Ford, who goes up top, and they go for the electric chair or the Doomsday. It's basically the blockbuster off the top into a Doomsday.
But we named it.
We'll get to that.
Yeah,
because they don't hit it this time.
No.
And actually, Marcel Bartel pushes Ford off the top rope, and then Eichner comes down because Dawkins goes to hit Marcel and he ducks. So then he turns around and fucking Eichner clotheslines him over the top rope.
Mm-hmm.
And then we get Eichner and Bartel back on top. They've got Ford in the corner. They do that double basement drop kick, which looks sweet this time, especially the way that they got Ford trapped in the ropes.
Ford's leg is just kind of dangling off the top rope, and the other one's kind of hooking around it so he doesn't,
Well, it looked like his legs were hooked into each other where he might actually not be able to get out of that. Of course, we know he can, but anyway. So that's where we get that spot.
We suspended reality for that 5 seconds.
And then Eichner hits a brain buster, and Marcel Bartel hits a suicide dive onto Dawkins outside. And this is where I thought we were going to get a fucking fall. But then Eichner goes up top. Well, actually,
he does a double jump moonsault.
Yeah, he goes to the apron, leapfrogs into a double springboard moonsault.
Very awesome looking.
Near fall. So then he brings him over to the corner after he kicks out, and they try to go for that power bomb. Actually, last ride with the European uppercut off the middle rope assist by Bartel, and Ford ducks the uppercut, and then Eichner brings him back up, goes for the last ride, but as he pulls him up,
Dawkins spears him.
Yeah, and that could have been a bad landing.
Oh, the way Ford's leg just kind of hooks under Eichner at that point. If it had just rolled the wrong way, that would have been the end of any kind of leaping ability for Montez Ford.
I think they get Eichner over in the corner, and they do their Doomsday Blockbuster, and we called it, or he named it, the 2012, because it was a Doomsday Blockbuster. Yep. And great match.
Oh, fantastic match.
I still think, oh, no, maybe this was better. Anyway, in retrospect, had a lot more notes. And two of the teams that we both love.
Yeah. Attention! Tonight, we salute Montez Ford. 6'1", 232 pounds, only 4 years as a professional wrestler, and trained at the WWE Performance Center. At ease. Okay.
Yeah, so tonight we saw the Street Profits versus Eichner and Bartel.
Yeah.
And Montez Ford probably wasn't at his best in this match.
But good lord, man.
But previous matches, like, he carries that team as far as excitement level goes.
His vertical leap from his track star days is second to none. 62 inches right there, just no problem at all. He gets more height than anybody else I've ever seen. Like, his frog splash alone gets higher than RVD at Burning Man. That's how high his frog splash
his
gets.
Vertical leap, as you can see most of this. This says box jump. So he's got a 5'2" standing box jump, and that's what you're seeing here. Yeah. And that's pretty high. That's almost as tall as I am.
And the blockbuster finisher nowadays added to his repertoire with Angelo Dawkins.
Yeah, that's a
he
tall spot to jump to.
He suspends just in air. I'm pretty sure he's higher than any steel cage that you'll actually put in front of him at that point. So, just a fantastic team. He's already got like star potential written all over him naturally. He's got the comedic element down, but he's no joke in a ring in any way, shape, or form.
Well, he jumps over the top rope like Ricochet does while running.
Yes.
But just a standing jump. Over the top rope onto who the fuck ever.
The guy,
amazing.
The guy's a speedball and a half. But like watching him in the ring, yeah, every now and then he'll cut up. He'll do like his funny shtick and whatnot. But when it's time to get down to business, he gets down to business, and he's better at it than most.
What I like about him is that he has actually got more charisma in the ring than he's got on the mic.
Yes.
He's got an okay amount of charisma on the mic, don't get me wrong.
Yeah.
But I still feel like him and Dawkins both are a little bit green. Like, there's a certain way that they can deliver promos and they sound okay. There's been a few that have been good. But when it comes to charisma, it shows more in the ring and in the way that he executes the match and the moves that he does and just his incredible natural leaping ability.
Yes.
He exploits that, but in a charismatic way.
The great thing about them right now is they got the ultimate rub, I think, at the Hall of Fame induction ceremony where Booker T mentions them by name as, I'm going to say it, the future Harlem Heat. More or less. And when G.I. Bro gives you like the props, that's when you've gotten that's when you've gotten the proper salute.
G.I. Bro, nobody misses G.I. Bro, least of which is Booker T.
Mm-hmm. Now, can you dig that, sucker?
Support, no DQ.
That brings us to the end of the main event, and on What's NXT, we rate the main event based off the General's 5-star rating system. And Jerry, you always go first. Out of 5 stars, where do you rate this main event match?
Well, we have 2 of our favorite tag teams in there naturally. And we saw pretty much all the high spots except for, like you said, the lawn dart, which I was missing that.
Yeah, I kind of missed that move.
Yeah, and I really wanted to see that moment in my head, like that I had in my head with the whole comedy thing, because that would have made the match a little more intense, I think. Because Eichner and Bartel would have really turned up the heat in it if they saw there being made a mockery of it any way, shape, or form. So I'm going to go ahead and give it 3 3/4.
Yeah, there was really no story in this match.
There was no story in the match short of the fact that one of these teams had to win.
Yeah, both these teams have been on a sizable losing streak. I know that that Eichner and Bartel have lost 3 matches in a row.
Mm-hmm.
The last one being to Kenny Williams and Amir Jordan on NXT UK last week.
That was just humiliating.
Yeah, definitely to those guys.
But
good grief.
And I've already said the only way that we're actually going to get Eichner and Bartel to be more feared or just get back on the same page is if some Austrian death machine that won the the
WWE UK Championship.
Yeah, that if he just kind of
he's got to turn.
Ring Kampf.
He's got to turn heel first, man.
Oh, Ring Kampf.
So I'm actually going to go higher. I think this was such a great match. Just the execution of it, and the fact that both of these teams brought what they do best to the table, except maybe Montez Ford didn't have a lot of high spots.
He didn't have nearly as many high spots.
But that's
He's had one of the most impressive drop kicks I've also seen, too, because pretty much anything involves him doing a high jump is going to be cool.
Well, I was going to give it 4, but then I'm going to take a quarter off because there was no story in this match really at all. It was a fun match, but it didn't hook me on a story level. So I'm going to agree. I'm going to go 3 3/4 stars.
Yeah.
So that brings us to the end of this episode of What's NXT. Mm-hmm. And join us tomorrow for the NXT party, where we should be having
the Cleaver
Holiday, Chris Mace, and the Cleaver, Colin Andrew. Mm-hmm. Couple of our favorite guests, 2 of the 2 newest members, I would say, of the NXT team, but 2 of the most active.
Yep.
They're on everybody's shows.
They're all over the place. Colin's got his own shows he's doing now. Chris does a lot of shows with Noah Foster with the 205 Lives Matter. Owen's got a whole bunch of different shows he does, and James, when he's not being vacant, he'll show up.
Yeah, every now and then. And then Cindy's got all of her videos about the indies shows.
Yep.
Usually hers are live. Like, she goes to a lot of shows.
She does a lot of.
But you got to check out her channel. Simply underscore C underscore okay. Yeah. On YouTube. Check out.
That's how frequently these people are on the show. We actually know their stuff better than our own.
Better. I can do hers better than mine. But.
We are
looking for new members of the NXT team, somebody that can come on and help us, or more people, to come on and help us review a future episode of NXT UK, come on the Rated R report that we do on our channel, or a predictions, or even a review video for a takeover sometimes. That's when Colin Andrews started.
Yep.
He came in when we were expecting Jeff Meacham and the schedules collided again. And he stepped in, and his very first video was NXT review or takeover review, and he did 2 in a row with us so far. So shout out to Colin. His YouTube channel is Colin Space Andrew.
Yep.
That's COLIN.
Yep. He's gonna start doing shows on Monday morning. The chopping block.
Yep. I watched episode 1. Good show.
Great show.
He's a great personality.
Awesome.
So, I'm losing my voice. Time to finish the show. If you'd like to join us on the big screen and help us review a future episode of NXT UK, come and have a spot of NXT. Fill in the blank while I drink some. And that's why he's my partner, friends. Come have a spot of NXT with us. You can find me on Twitter. Go to nodq.com/Stefan. That's STEFAN, or if you just want to find me on Twitter, look me up. It's at Stefan R. Osborne, OSBORNE. As always, the R stands for restricted. You can also find this gentleman, Fuckbomb, on Twitter.
At NoDQ General, and also on my Facebook group Armbar, all caps, ARMBAR, exclamation point. Lately, I've been doing a lot more Armbar Radio with a whole bunch of fantasy booking and just talking random shit.
Yeah, sometimes people listen. One last night about John Moxley. What should he do next?
Yes.
I believe you've got that recorded. It's still on Armbar, isn't it?
Yeah, I pretty much anything I do on Armbar Radio, I'm going to go ahead and post. And then also, I had started a chat the other day. I'm pretty sure I deleted it or whatever. I may start another one. We're going to start doing more group stuff. Tomorrow, I'm going to have Tornado Tag, and it's gonna be, you're gonna be able to tag any member of the group, ask them a question, so that way we get more of our community established and people getting to know more of what makes people tick in that group.
Oh man, I'm gonna get tagged and I'm not gonna know at all. I'm gonna have no clue.
It's gonna be just random questions. Who's your favorite wrestler?
It's gonna tell me on my timeline, but I'm gonna skip over it because it's gonna have Armbar, all caps, ARMBAR, exclamation point. And usually that's just letting me know people are posting in there. Yeah. And I'm not even going to notice the fact that somebody tagged me. It's going
to say...
Because I'm an admin, folks. I should be participating, but I really don't. Unless you put a meme on there that I really like. It'll come across my news feed. I'll like it. I'll share it.
It's going to say it's like so-and-so tagged you in a post. So... where that comes up,
maybe
check it out.
Maybe I'll see it.
Yeah.
Otherwise, yeah.
If you want to be.
Yeah, if you want to, you got to go through us though, administrator right here. I actually turned somebody down the other day.
Really?
He said his favorite wrestler was Conor McGregor, and I said nope.
Oh, you rejected him? Oh, he wants to come back then, because I got him too.
Oh, nice. Yeah, Conor McGregor. You know, you're not getting past this guy.
Somebody let the Ronda Rousey girl in, but she's been staying quiet, so it's whatever.
So, if you like our video, if you're still here by now, you should click the like button. That's underneath me, right down, somewhere down here.
Right, yeah.
And if you like all of our videos, you should click the subscribe button. That's over there underneath Jerry. He's pointing directly at it. Mm-hmm. Now, right over here next to him is the share button. We will give you a moment to do that while we ramble. Just click the share button and a little bar will pop up and it'll tell you all the things you can share it on. Quickest one, just tap Twitter. Tap tweet. You don't even, it'll show some stuff. You don't even have to, and you shared it. Thank you. We appreciate it. And if you'd like to get these videos somewhere around a day early, you can find our channel, Aftermatch Wrestling, on YouTube. That's all one word, AFTERMATCH, Aftermatch Wrestling. And we are on our way to 100 subscribers.
I think we're at 71 now.
71. So 29 away, and we will start doing this show, What's NXT Live, and you'll get all of the great outtakes that I can't edit because it's live.
It won't be outtakes anymore. It'll just be takes.
We are going to have to step up our game, but we still got 29 subscribers to go.
Take your time.
Please come subscribe. If you subscribe, click the bell button that's down there. That's because these videos go live at very weird hours. So if you actually want to see it, the bell button's a good idea. If you don't like the notifications that your phone sends you, then I understand that. But if you don't mind them, then your phone will actually tell you when the videos can be watched.
Yeah.
So if you've got insomnia and you're up at fucking 3 in the morning on the East Coast, and you're looking for something to watch on your YouTube,
we got you covered.
Pop right up. So, thank you for joining us. Any other news? That it? All right. For the General Jerry Slaughter, I am the Wizard of No DQ, Stephen Osborne, and we will see you in NXT time.